Hi, this is Russ Kellum from Kunes Buick GMC in Stoughton, Wisconsin. And today I'm going to show you how to replace a cabin air filter on a 2021 GMC Terrain. For those that are wondering, the part number on this cabin air filter is 1350-8023 or CF185. This is a genuine AC Delco part. And I'd like to show you a nice little tip or trick that we use to prevent leaves and other debris that are going to be captured by that cabin filter. We'll show you a little trick. So you take your old filter out of the box and you use it as a template, and you're going to take a scissors and you're just going to cut your box. And what we're looking for is we want to have it the same size or maybe a little bit smaller than the cabin air filter. And you can see how that looks pretty good. And what we're going to do is we're going to slip this little piece of cardboard underneath the filter, so when we pull the filter out, we're not going to get any debris falling into your blower motor. And I'll explain why that's important a little bit later. To begin with, we're going to go around to the passenger side of the vehicle and we're going to open the glove box. And we're going to take out any loose items that are in the glove box and we're going to set them on the seat. The tools that I would recommend that you use for this job are a 5.5mm socket, a long extension, probably 10 or 12 inches long, 1/4 inch drive, and then also a 1/4 inch drive ratchet. So the first step after opening the glove box is removing the glove box door dampener from this pin. There's a plastic pin sticking out from the side of the glove box. And you're going to reach behind with 2 fingers and you're going to pull back on the dampener arm and release it off of this pin. Now the pin has 2 little dimples on it that keep this from popping off, so there's a little bit of force required. So I'll get in there and I popped it right off. The next step is to disengage this thin strip of plastic along the back of the glove box from the tabs located at each side. And this piece of plastic actually gives the glove box rigidity, and we need to release that so that the glove box can be squeezed to release the tabs for the next step. So we'll start with this side. We'll pull in a little bit and we'll lift up on the plastic to disengage it. On the right side, we'll push in and lift up and fold that little piece of plastic up out of the way. The next step is we're going to release the tabs on each side of the glove box that are holding the glove box up into the dash right now. So we're going to pull in on this left side and we're going to push in on the right side to get these little tabs here on the side out of the way. We're going to drop the glove box down and we're going to pull it rearward, and we have now removed the glove box from the vehicle. So with the glove box door out of the way, you can clearly see it says filter access door. This is where your cabin air filter is housed. This vehicle has a 5.5mm screw here and one on the other side as well. This is where and why I recommend a long extension, so that you can get the socket on the bolt or the screw and have the ratchet out here to remove it. You can use it without the extension, you just gotta stick your hand in there. And I like to have it out here. Likewise on the right side. All right, and this is what the screws look like. We'll set those down out of the way. The next step is to depress this tab, plastic tab, on the right side and the left side. You can do it individually or together. and you just fold up this door. Now it's hinged and it's plastic. There's really no hinge. It's just plastic that's all molded together. So be careful. You don't want to open this door and close this door too many times because you could crack that plastic. So we just want to be very careful with that. So with this door held open, you can see there's a little indent here where you could possibly get your finger in. But before we do that, we're going to use that cardboard that I showed you earlier. So we're going to grab our template that we made earlier, and we're going to slide it in underneath the filter. And what that's going to do is it's going to prevent any leaves or debris, possibly a mouse nest. You never know what's in there this time of year. You're going to prevent that from falling down into your blower motor housing. This is your blower motor right here. So if any of that debris falls down in your blower motor, you're going to get a loud vibration from the fan, whenever you have the fan on high speed. So we're going to reach in, we're going to pull this filter out. And there you go. You can see this one's not terribly dirty. There are little chunks of leaves and debris in the pleats, but there you go. So we'll grab our new cabin filter and we're going to look on the edges for symbols and words that say airflow and little arrows pointing down. So airflow comes from the top, flows through the filter, and then down into your blower motor, and then from your blower motor it goes into your cabin. So we want these arrows pointing down. So we want to push your door back open, and we want to align this filter and slide it in. If you feel any binding at all, and if you have to force it and you feel that the filter might be squeezing or scrunching and bunching up, pull it back out and make sure there's nothing blocking. Make sure that you're putting it in perfectly straight, because if you bunch it up, you're going to have a gap on the back side. You'll have all this unfiltered air coming in, and you don't want that. So we're going to make sure it goes in smooth. We're going to get it to the back of the housing, and then we're going to push the door closed, clicking it on the right side and the left side. Now I've seen guys leave these screws out, but I'm a stickler for this, and I'll make sure I always put the screws back in. All right, now that we have our cabin filter installed, the door closed, and the screws reinstalled, I'd like to take a moment to show you the closer damper right here. And this is the pin that I couldn't really get a close-up on earlier. This is the pin sticking out of the side. You can see there's a groove in the middle, which allows it to be squeezed, and it's got two little dimples on the back, which is what this little hole in the damper engages. So right now, this is the bottom of the glove box, and there are 4 hinges right here. They're slots, and these slots engage on these little hinge pins right here in the instrument panel. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these slots and we're going to engage them right here, like that. And then we're going to push the glove box back up into the instrument panel. We're going to hold this dampener out of the way on the side here, and you can hear the little tabs go past the dash here. So we will start here. We'll get the top strip of plastic re-engaged with those tabs that we disconnected earlier. Okay. And next we'll show you how to do that damper. So now with the glove box reinstalled in the dash, we can come back to this damper, and we're going to re-engage this hole in the damper with the pin sticking out of the side of the glove box. So we're just going to realign it with the pin in the hole, and we're going to take 2 fingers and push it in to get it past the pin. So here we have some examples of cabin air filters that we've replaced on used vehicles that we're reconditioning and or customer vehicles. These are just good examples. This one, you could see leaves, a lot of the dogwood and cottonwood debris stuck inside the pleats. This one here is a little dirtier, driven probably more in a dusty area. And this is the one that we just replaced today on our 2020 Terrain. A lot of the cottonwood, dogwood stuff, seed pods, all that kind of stuff in here. But this one here, I thought I would save this from earlier this week. This is out of another car that I worked on earlier in the week, and you could see a lot of leaves and debris in here. So this is a good example as to why we'd want to put that little piece of cardboard underneath the filter when we replace it, because this stuff can fall off the back of the filter as you're removing it from the case. And these little leaves can fall down in your blower motor and create a real bad vibration. So we want to make sure that we keep that debris from getting in there. So you might be wondering, you know, where are all these leaves coming from? I'm not really understanding how this stuff is getting into my car. If you're parking under trees and in the fall, all your leaves are falling down inside this cowl area by your windshield wipers, I would seriously recommend making it a habit whenever you go fill up at a gas station, or whenever you're taking time and cleaning off your windshield for any reason, to grab all the leaves and debris from this area, because actually these little grooves here, or these little holes, are the inlet for the air. All the air that comes inside your vehicle has to enter through the windshield cowl. So number one source of all this debris would be your cowl. Make sure to get all the leaves off pretty regularly, especially in the fall.